Welcome to today's City Club Forum. My name is Ralph Delarada, and I have the great pleasure of being the president of the City Club of Cleveland this year. Many of you are veterans of the City Club, but I never tire of saying that we were established in 1912. So for almost 100 years, we've served as one of the nation's premier public podiums for civic dialogue, truly covering the most important topics of our nation's time. The City Club draws our guest speakers from a variety of fields and backgrounds, providing a national forum of free speech. These speakers, who are rich in experience and knowledge, are here to spur discussion and learning, not just amongst the citizens of Cleveland, but as well to our greater national audience. Today, I have the great honor of introducing a local leader who is dedicated to advancing the medical research community here in Cleveland. Our speaker, Dr. Pam Davis, is currently the permanent dean of the School of Medicine at Case Western Reserve University. And although she was appointed to this prestigious position in September 2007, Dr. Davis has been an invaluable member of the Case community dating back to 1981. I have the personal honor of serving on the University Hospitals Board and associating with Pam, and it has been truly a pleasure getting to know her over the last several years on a personal basis as well as a professional basis. And I must say, she is truly one of the consummate medical professionals, not just in our community, but in the entire country. She's worked to solidify Northeast Ohio's reputation as a top biomedical region in the United States, and to that effect is planning to aggressively pursue governmental stimulus money, which will be distributed by the National Institutes of Health. She has also implemented cost-cutting initiatives to address the Case Medical School budget deficit, while at the same time expanding its research infrastructure, so no small task. Prior to becoming dean, Dr. Davis served in a number of positions at Case, including interim dean, vice dean for research, and professor of pediatrics, physiology and biophysics, and molecular biology and microbiology. She currently holds the Arline H. and Curtis F. Garvin Research Professorship. Dr. Davis has further served as former director of the Willard A. Birnbaum Cystic Fibrosis Research Center. She has been heavily involved in cystic fibrosis research, including the origins of cystic fibrosis, lung disease, and strategies for gene therapy for this disease. She has broadened her interest from this disease to general lung inflammation. The strategies she has developed for gene therapy of cystic fibrosis now appear to be applicable to a broader range of human diseases. Beyond Case, Dr. Davis has acted as chief of the Pediatric Pulmonary Division at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, another organization very dear to my heart. She holds 7 U.S. patents and is a founding scientist of Copernicus Therapeutics, Inc. Dr. Davis has additionally served on the advisory council to NIDDK, the Board of Scientific Counselors for NHLBI, and on advisory boards for the Burroughs Wellcome Fund and several academic cystic fibrosis centers. She has been highly praised as an inspiration in her field. In 2008, she received the Raising Our Voices Award from the American Medical Student Association, which recognizes distinguished women who have demonstrated leadership and commitment to the field of medicine. She is an inductee to the Cleveland Medical Hall of Fame and has been named regularly in Best Doctors in America and also in Top Doctors. Dr. Davis has received other notable awards, including the Rosenthal Prize for Academic Pediatrics, the Smith College Medal, the Elizabeth A. Rich Award from the American Thoracic Society, and the Doris Tulson Award from the CF Foundation. Dr. Davis received her AB degree and graduated summa cum laude from Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts, and her MD and PhD degrees from our shared alma mater, Duke University. We don't want to talk about the game last night. We've talked about that enough today, she and I. She received fellowship training in pulmonary medicine in the pediatric metabolism branch of NIDDK at Duke Hospital before moving here to Cleveland. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a distinct honor for me to introduce such a widely respected and distinguished leader. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Pam Davis to the City Club.
Well, thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'll sure try to live up to it. Today I have the privilege of speaking to you about the twin passions of my professional life, achieving medical discoveries and using them to change the lives of patients, or, as our marketing folks put it, lab to life. These two missions brought me here in 1981. I came to be part of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, which is known for its research breakthroughs and its transformational patient care. For a doctor who specialized in cystic fibrosis, as I did, Case Western Reserve was the place to be. But I'm getting ahead of myself. As any scientist will tell you, discovery depends on careful attention to process. So does this story. It begins in New York City in the summer of 1948. It was August, and the Big Apple was boiling. For 3 days in a row, thermometers had topped 100 degrees. Paul de Saint-Agnes, a young pediatrician recently emigrated from Italy, found the wards where he worked were filled with overheated babies and children. And he noticed that half of the babies with heat prostration had cystic fibrosis. Why so many, he wondered. Could it relate to their sweat? Of course not, the experts told him. Completely unrelated. New to medicine and to this country, de Saint-Agnes could have meekly accepted his elders' dismissal of his ideas, but his curiosity persisted, and he knew that the babies, at least, were depending on him. After 5 years of research and testing, de Saint-Agnes delivered. In a landmark article, he proved conclusively that patients with cystic fibrosis had salt content in their sweat that was 5 times normal. The discovery offered a simple and reliable test to diagnose CF, but more, it created the foundation of our understanding of this disease. At the time of this discovery, CF was seen as a confusing disease of mucus glands. De Saint-Agnes proved that it had to have a more fundamental and a more systemic root, probably in the transport of salt across tissues. This propelled legions of scientists to seek the underlying physiological cause of CF, which turned out to be chloride transport. In 1989, 4 decades after that sweltering New York summer, scientists identified a single gene responsible for cystic fibrosis. And interestingly, they confirmed their findings in sweat gland cells. This breakthrough accelerated treatment exponentially and grew directly from de Saint-Agnes' original discovery. Now, in 1948, a diagnosis of CF meant a child wouldn't live long enough to attend elementary school. Today, the life expectancy is nearly 40 years. That's impact. That's lab to life. So I think this story is compelling in any context, but I tell it here because of its personal relevance. In the summer of 1979, I finished working a shift in the emergency room at Duke Hospital about 8 o'clock in the morning, packed my 1968 Chevy, and headed north to Bethesda in order to sign in before 4 o'clock that afternoon to my new job at the National Institutes of Health. I was a freshly minted physician scientist from Duke University, primed to work in what was then the world's capital for medical research, the National Institutes of Health, and I was going to work for Paul de Saint-Agnes. I thought cystic fibrosis was a disease we could cure in my lifetime, and I wanted to be there to see it, and to do it, and to feel it. At the NIH, Dr. Paul de Saint-Agnes really gave me that chance. Besides teaching science, he knew how to instill an esprit de corps. At the NIH, we were all bright, ambitious young doctors who very easily could have become brutal competitors. But de Saint-Agnes turned us into colleagues, and then to something akin to siblings. Over 25 years, he trained the leaders in the profession who worked on cystic fibrosis, and he made us strong collaborators.